Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a Sephora haul. The Sephora savings event is happening right now. I did get my order in. I have some stuff that I purchased right before the sale that I wanna share, and then stuff that I purchased during the sale, and then I made another order. It's not gonna be here until like Friday or Saturday, so I may just include photos at the end and tell you what I got. So of course I will link everything down below, and let's go ahead and get into what I picked up from Sephora. So as I said, the Sephora sale is going on right now. I will put on the screen the dates, but I believe that everybody can shop now. And depending on your tier, you get 10, 15, or 20% off. And then also everybody gets 30% off Sephora collection. I do believe that I also saw that they have a promo, and I'll put it on the screen if they still have it, where you get a free pair of diff eyewear, which I think they're kind of pricey. I think you can stack that on your discount. And then also I saw free same-day delivery, and I don't know when that ends, but I think maybe in a couple days. So I'll have any promos or anything linked down below, but I want to get into what I picked up. So let's start off with some bronzers. So I talked about wanting to get a different shade of the Dior bronzing stick, and I did that. So I got the shade 4. Originally I had the shade 3, and it was just really cool toned. I love this formula. It is so easy to work with, very, very thin, and it's not sticky. So it just builds up really nicely without being too much, and it layers really beautifully with powder. I know that a lot of people were saying that these are really, really warm, and this does look like a really warm shade, but one of my favorite bronzers is the Say in Swim, and it's very warm, but it makes me look like I've been on vacation. I really want something that's warm because it just really livens up my complexion, and the shade that I had before this, shade 3, was really cool, and I think out of all the shades it must have been the coolest one, and that's the one that I chose. So very happy to have this. And then today I tried this new product from Westman Atelier. I have to say the packaging is stunning. Like, it's really nice and weighted. So this is the Sun Tone Bronzing Cream Duo. I love the drops, so I definitely wanted to try this. I got the second shade, so I think this is maybe like the medium shade, and this is a really unique formula. It has that almost cream to powder feel, so I just used this color today. Very, very pigmented. It almost has, if you've ever tried that Say formula that's in the pot, where it feels like it's really dry and textured initially, and then once you work your fingers in, it becomes quite creamy. So you can see that there are two different undertones here, and I want to say that I used the warm one. Yeah, I used the warm one today. Yeah, this one. And it was quite intense. Like, you can see that I have quite a bit of sculpting going on, but it's a really firmly pressed cream to powder. So you really have to kind of dig your brush in, but once you do, it's extremely pigmented. You do also get a mirror in here. This feels luxe. Like, this packaging gives me very much like Victoria Beckham vibes. So very, very happy with this. Excited to continue to try it. And then I did splurge on one of these Westman Atelier Hydra Bomb tinted lipsticks. I saw this on a few creators online, and I was like, wow, that is such a unique shade. So this is the color Cafe Cream. It is such a stunning cool tone color. I do not own anything like this. I typically am not that much into balms because I feel like when they are too sheer, I don't see the point, and when they're too slick, they get outside of my lip line, and then I feel like I have to babysit them. This is such a nice formula because it has enough pigment to build up. I have it on right now, but it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. This feels like a true balm, but it has just enough buildability that I feel like it really is a sheer lipstick. I think this is a stunning formula. Again, packaging is super beautiful, very, very weighted, but this color in particular is really unique to my collection. And again, I usually don't like balms, but that one I actually am really enjoying. And then I did splurge again because I have been wanting to try some things from Sarah Creel, and I lately have been looking for some peachy lipsticks because I feel like I'm getting a ton of like those nude kind of like concealer lip tones, and I want something a little bit warmer, especially going into the summer. So I decided to try this Speak for Yourself hydrating lipstick in Sugar Mama. Now this is very peachy. It's really hard to tell online because you can't get Sarah Creole in store near me, but this is a beautiful, hydrating, really peachy orange tone. And I like that because I do really like the Westman Atelier lipstick in Lacquer. I mentioned that in my recommendations. And this is a little bit deeper and a little bit more peach rather than that one being more like of a creamsicle orange. So I think this feels really nice. It's not the most pigmented lipstick, but as you can see, if you compare it to the Balm from Westman Atelier, I mean, it definitely has more punch than that. Feels quite hydrating. The packaging is really pretty. And I did order another product from Sarah Creole, so we will get to that at the end. I also picked up a couple repurchases in different shades because what I had been sent in PR just wasn't working for me. So of course I had to get another of the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. This is incredible. I would say the best concealer that I've tried in a few years. This is so full coverage. It's not heavy. It's very thin. I don't find it to be drying. I don't think that it's necessarily hydrating, but it's not sticky. It doesn't have any illumination in it. So I absolutely love this. And this works amazingly well if you want to use it as your foundation. I wore it in Mexico and I loved it. I wore it to the pool, blended it all over because you really don't need much because the coverage is insane. And then I just set it with powder and it was like lasting through sweating at the pool all day. So I highly recommend this. I got the shade 3.5 Fair. I think I was sent like 4.5 to 6.5 and they're just a little bit deep for me. I can wear them kind of more as like a foundation, but this is definitely more my speed for my under eyes. I could even get a lighter shade possibly, so we'll see if I end up doing that, but absolutely love that. And then the Lawless foundation, I really like, but the shades run so dark. So I picked up 1F. The fact that this is like the lightest shade or like the third from lightest shade is a little concerning because this is not a super extra fair color. Definitely more doable, but I do find that this oxidizes. So I want to give it a minute to set. I think this formula is so thin. It gives you a nice coverage and it's not really dry. So I really like it. It wears really well. It makes your skin look nice and smooth, but the shade range, it needs a lot of work because I don't know if you can tell, it's already starting to like set down. This being like an extra fair, I just don't think that the shade range makes any sense. If you pick up like a light shade, it's going to be like a medium tan. So whatever you think you need, literally go like 4 shades more fair, I'm telling you. But this will definitely work for me better than the other ones that I have because this is definitely much lighter, even with the oxidation. I'm wearing it right now and I feel like it's not the perfect tone, but again, I made it work. So I'll probably end up mixing this and then the other shades that I have, and just depending on like where my self tan is at. Next, let's talk blush because I have quite a few to go through. So I'm wearing this one right now. This is the new Prada blush. So this is supposed to be a cream to powder. I have the color Dahlia. The packaging I find annoying. I mean, it feels cheap, but it's just annoying to try to open because it doesn't stay open and it's just sort of hard to handle. This formula is definitely a cream to powder. It has that almost like textured look before you touch it, similar to the way the Westman Atelier Bronzing Cream Duo looks, but this is much thinner and creamier. It does blend out to a powder finish. Kind of reminds me of a little bit more of a sheer version of the original LYS cream blushes, but with more of like a powdery set down. But it has that like textured look to it before you get your finger in there. So I think it's pretty. Like I had no issues blending it. I use it on an unset face and then set with powder, and I feel like it's quite pigmented. Like I still have a lot of pigment. I didn't put a blush over top because I felt like I had enough. So I think it's pretty. I just think if you're looking for, you know, packaging that's going to like knock your socks off, you're probably not going to get that. But if you like a cream to powder formula, I think you would like this because because I mean, it is a really nice, you know, pretty formula. So one is enough for me as I knock everything over. I don't need any more than that. And then the Armani. I got these before the sale. I recommended them, but I haven't hauled them yet. I got all 3 of the Armani cheek tints in all 3 of the new shades. 10 out of 10, especially this color 63 for the cheeks. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like, this is gonna look good on literally anyone. It is so beautiful. This formula truly is just on another level for me. It's so thin, it's not sticky, it's buildable. You can use these on your lips as well. And they just play well with powder. Like, I cannot say enough good things about these. And then I cannot stop using the shade 12 for lipstick. I don't have it on today because I wanted to try that Westman Atelier, but this shade is so beautiful if you like a concealer lip. Absolutely stunning. And then they do have a new deeper shade. This is Brick Brown. So you can add just a little bit to your cheeks if you are, you know, more fair like me. But I love these colors. I love this formula. Truly, it is probably my favorite liquid blush of all time. Like, you would have to fight me over these, and I'm not joking. Do not try to take my Armani cheek tints. I purchased every single one except for one shade. I think there's like 11 colors. I purchased 10, and these are not cheap, but they do not leave my top drawer. Like, these are what I'm traveling with. They are just a 10 out of 10. So highly recommend those. I hadn't hauled those yet, so I wanted to share. And then I did also grab this new Fenty Shake and Play Buildable Liquid Blush. So this I thought looked interesting. It does have a shaker in there, and it's a very thin formula. It has this interesting doe foot but like sponge applicator, and you're supposed to just do like 1 dot or 2 dots depending on how much pigment you want. It kind of has that oily feel. I don't really think it's crazy pigmented. Just upon that swatch, like, you can barely see it. So let me clean off my hand and then we'll do a real swatch. All right, so I'm just gonna do 3 dots here. I don't know if I said, I got the color Bo Peep. So it's very thin. It almost has like an oily feel when you blend it together, and then it sets to like a powder finish. I don't know. I think it's cute. I just don't know if it's going to be something that you need to have. I don't think it's as pigmented as I thought it would be, because I thought I saw like promo where they said, you know, 1 dot or 2 dots is all you need. I did get the lightest shade, but it looks cute. We'll see if it's like something that you need to have. And then I did also grab the Tom Ford Soleil Sun-Kissed Blush from the holiday collection. So some of the Tom Ford shades are available on Sephora, so you can get your discount. Some are not. So I will have everything linked accordingly, but I got the color Resort. Packaging is super nice. Like, it's quite weighted. The cap just feels really luxe. And this is a really bright, fun color. I didn't know what to expect formula-wise, but this actually feels almost like a moussey silicone. So again, we're seeing a lot of that like cream to powder, liquid to powder feel, and that's what this feels like to me. This one has a really moussey feel, almost like that powdery feel that's whipped, but it has a little bit of a silicone feel to it. So it gives it like that soft touch glide. So I'm interested to really try this on the cheeks. I just wanted to get one shade, and I think it's gonna be a pretty formula. I almost wonder if this is a formula you could use on your lips as well, just because it reminds me of some of the more like soft, hazy, kind of blur lip products that we've been seeing recently. So I'm excited to have this, and we'll be using all of this stuff into trying new makeup soon. Also from the Tom Ford collection, I did purchase these before the sale, but I wanted to include them because they are available at Sephora. I think just not the 2 shades that I got, but the bronzer and the highlighter in all of the other colors. I am a huge fan of the Tom Ford highlighters, so I had to grab this. I got the lightest shade, I believe, which is Capri, and it looks so beautiful. I haven't even swatched this yet, but oh, yes. The highlighters from Tom Ford are some of my most used, like up there with the Dior Universal palette. So beautiful. They have that like baked gelée formula, so they're not dusty or super powdery. They are so gorgeous. They do not look heavy on the skin. I am really eyeing the second shade, which I think is called Amalfi. Like, I'm eyeing it, but I just want to make sure it's not too dark for me. This one definitely leans a little bit more icy. So really, really excited to try this. And then I did also pick up one of the bronzers. I got the lightest shade again. This is Corsica, I believe. And I haven't swatched this yet, but it looks like it has a really warm kind of red undertone. It seems like it has a little bit of a natural finish to it. It's a powder formula though. Like, I don't feel like this is that baked gelée like the highlighters, but it looks like it has a nice buildable, you know, formula. So I'm excited to try these. Again, I have so much stuff to try. I need to do like 3 trying new makeup videos. I'm gonna try to do some while the sale is still happening, but just bear with me. And then I did also pick up the Givenchy highlighter if you missed it. That's what I'm wearing right now. So my favorite has to be the rosy gold, although I am eyeing the other gold shade because it looks like it's a little bit brighter. This formula is undetectable. It is so beautiful. I have it on my hand right here. It feels drier, but it's not chunky. There's no glitter flying all over, and it just looks like seamless with your skin. I mean, if you can see, like, it's pretty intense, but there's no heavy, chunky feel. It's not making my texture look enhanced. It's truly stunning, like truly, truly stunning. And the presentation is also 10 out of 10. So highly recommend this, but again, I hadn't hauled it yet and I wanted to share it with you. Next, I want to talk about eye products because I did pick up 4. So I want to start out with this base, and I don't know how I feel about it. I picked this up because I had heard that it was sort of like the Painterly paint pot, but an easier way to use on your lid before other eyeshadows, so as a base. So I grabbed this MAC Painterly liquid eyeshadow. It's called the Multi Sculpt Matte. So I will say that it is quite thin, and it does have almost like this oily feel to it when you blend it out. My issue is that once it sets down, it kind of shears out. I don't find this to be as pigmented as the original Painterly, because if you look at the swatch here, it looks, you know, like it's got a good amount of pigment, but once you start to blend and blur, it becomes a little bit more sheer. Like, I can see my skin through, and I have really like veiny lids, so I don't know if I'm gonna love it for that purpose because I really like to blank out my lid space. And then I did feel like my shadow got really dry when I was blending into my crease. Now, I don't know if it's my lids, I don't know if it's just this product because it's the first time I tried it, but I did use the new YSL palette. This palette is selling out literally within like minutes. It's actually insane, but this is available on Sephora. It came back in stock the other day. I posted about it, and within like 3 minutes it was gone, and I was like, what? This palette is stunning. It is the 9-pan eyeshadow palette from YSL Beauty. So in here you have an array of neutral colors. I've used this a couple times and not had an issue with it. I did use it today. I just used this color in the crease and then this color on the lid. I was doing something like very basic, and I noticed that my lids were getting like textured and sort of funky. So I think the culprit might be the MAC. Maybe the MAC is not good as a base and more as just like an actual shadow, but this formula is super pigmented. The mattes are like incredibly creamy, like very, very fragile, and the shimmers are a little bit like dusty, but they have this pretty effect when you apply them to your lids where they almost have like this glitter shift to them. They look, again, quite like dusty or chunky in the pan, but once you build them up and like blend them on your lid, they give that like sophisticated sort of shine. The color I used today on my lid, the center shade, is definitely like more bam and glittery, this one right here, and then this one needed more building. But I do like this palette, except for like today. I just felt like things were looking a little bit more textured, and I'm gonna have to play around more and see if the MAC is just not gelling with me. Now, if you like eyeshadow that is incredibly, incredibly high shine, glittery, almost metallic, I have to rave about this Bobbi Brown shimmer stick. So I purchased this before the sale. I did recommend it in my recommendations. I have not seen anyone talk about this, but this is truly incredible. So I'm gonna just swatch one swipe for you. Look at the high shine on this eyeshadow. Let me do it here. It has that cooling effect, so incredibly similar to the Danessa Myricks, but I would say more glittery, less foil backing. So it has more of like that scattered glitter high shine, whereas some of the Danessa Myricks have more of like a foiled effect where they have that metallic base throughout. This one is more translucent with incredible glitter and shine. It is so stunning. I've noticed it's also smoother than the Danessa. Again, they're both beautiful, but sometimes the Danessa can get a little bit like chunky, again, like that foiled effect. This one is just thinner and more smooth. I have the color here, Brilliant Moonstone. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm considering getting another shade or two. So pretty. I just had to rave about that. And then I did get a Prada eyeliner finally. So I heard, I believe, Teresa is Dead talking about these for a long time. And I like to use a baby pink in my waterline, but they don't have that. They had like a lilac and I was like, I don't know how much I'll use that. So I got the brown shade in Wood 02 and I got this to Tightline. I had heard people say that it does not budge. So I used it today. I want to see how this works once it sets down, but it's very creamy. Like when you blend it on, it's very creamy. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second and see if it does smudge. But my first impression is like very pigmented, and I've heard honestly nothing but rave reviews about this. So I'm excited to try this. And then I got this perfume, I fell in love, I went back, got the full size. It's on its way to me. This is the Brown Girl Jane Peach Aura. Holy smokes, this is divine. I cannot rave about this perfume enough. I mean, I bought the full size with all of the perfumes in my collection. I don't often buy a full size bottle of fragrance. This one did it for me. My friend came over the other day and she was like, you smell so good. And I was like, thank you. I want to bathe in this, okay? So this is a peach scent, but it has some like gourmand notes in there. So to me, this is almost like a yummy peach, just delicious gourmand. It's not one of those peach that's juvenile. To me, it's just a little bit more robust because it has those different notes that don't make it like a standard peach kind of tropical scent. It is so delicious. Absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend. So my bottle is on its way to me and I cannot wait, but I wanted to mention that. And let's get back to this Prada eyeliner. Yeah, this is like not going anywhere. I mean, I'm pushing hard, nothing's moving. So interested to keep trying this. I would like to see more shades, like maybe a nude shade or something, because again, I'm not gonna wear like lilac in my waterline as much as I would wear like a nude or a baby pink. So I want to move on to some lip products because I have quite a few to share. So I went ahead and picked up 2 of the new YSL lip liners. They remind me of the Fenty Beauty lip liners or the Maybelline lip liners, but with a silicone slip and an ability to be blurred. They're not quite as pigmented, but they have that ability to be smudged, almost like what I thought the Rhode lip contours were gonna be like, because you can see that if I just blend this on and start blending it out, you can see that you still have the pigment there, but it gives you that like shadow or contour, whereas the Fenty Beauty or the Freck Beauty, those lip liners are so incredibly creamy and pigmented, you really have to move quick and they set. They don't really have like the capability to be smudged as easily as other formulas, but this one is unique in that it's a little bit more sheer and it has a silicone feel to it. So I think this is a great formula if you like to do the blurred lip where you apply it and then you just kind of blend around, because you can do either here. So this shade is 109 and I think I'm wearing this one today. And then I also picked up the color 102. This one is definitely lighter, more like Your Lips but better. So it has that creaminess, but I do think that it is different enough if that's something that you're looking for. And then I did also pick up the YSL lip oil. Again, I mentioned this in my recommendations. This is a new color in the shade 10. This is so beautiful if you like a shimmery gloss that actually shows up. It has intense sparkle. It's like a really pretty peachy pink sparkle. This definitely does plump, so keep that in mind. I wouldn't say it's like super painful, but it definitely gives you like that buzzing feel. But I had to get this because I loved the shade they came out with around holiday time, and I thought it was going to be similar, but this one's definitely more pink. So definitely recommend if you like those glittery glosses. I also did grab a couple lip balms. So the first one is the Rhode Peptide Lip Boost. I got the Sugar Mint. The reason I got this is because I had seen people talk about really liking it, but they said it was sticky. And I was like, yes, that's what I love. Something like the Ole Henriksen where it hangs around and gives you like intense hydration. This is definitely a sticky, really nice, like refreshing mint feel. I love sticky because it just coats your lips and I find is more hydrating. So I've been reaching for this every day. When I'm not wearing makeup, I just kind of apply it over a lip stain and it just gives me high shine, that really, really nice hydrated feel. I would absolutely love for her to come out with this formula with more tint. I don't really love the original lip balms because they're just too thin. They're too sheer. I don't feel like they look different enough and they just slide right off. But this is a yes, yes, yes. If you love like the Ole Henriksen type of feel, this you will love. And then I did grab one of these Laneige Glaze Craze Tinted Lip Serums. I just thought the shade was really unique. So I think this is Lavender Frosting. This has the interesting applicator that I don't necessarily love. It has that like little jelly ball on the end, but this is such a nice pigmented gloss because it actually shows up. So if you want that like milky lavender look, this definitely will give it to you. So I do like that. It's not a super thick or sticky feel. I would say it's more of like in the middle in terms of like being thin or thick. So I don't find it to be sticky. I kind of wish it would last longer, but the color really got me. And I think it is really unique to my collection, which is kind of hard to say, especially with, you know, lip balms. And then I did get one of the new Sephora collection glossed lip glosses. So I saw this pink. I always look at the swatches on the models and it actually looked like it had pigment. So I was like, let me go ahead and try that. So this, I can't remember. Oh, this is in the shade Trendsetter 80 or 08? 08. So this actually is quite thick, which I was happy about. I would say if you are somebody that hates like a tacky gloss, I don't know if you're gonna like this one. I do wish it had a little bit more pigment to it. I was hoping it was gonna be kind of like my Valentino gloss, but this one is kind of like in the middle. I feel like the pigment is similar maybe to the Laneige, a little bit more sheer. I'm gonna see if it has a scent. That's a weird scent. I don't really know what the scent is. Let me see if you can see this if I apply this on top. It's not like a crazy, is that like a fruity scent? It's not like a crazy thick gloss, but it's definitely more substantial than a lot of like the lip oils and things we're seeing. Again, on the lips, I feel like it's just showing up clear, and that's my frustration because what's the point of having a bunch of colors? I know that I did, you know, have a lipstick on, but I still would have liked a little bit more pigment. So I think it's cute. You know, I already have a lip balm on, so maybe I'll have to try it with nothing else on, but 30% off, I feel like I really couldn't go wrong there. I also picked up one brush that I saw Cheryl raving about. I was worried because I've tried some brushes from Patrick Ta in the past and I found them to be scratchy, but this one is actually really soft. I forgot to use it today, but this is the Concealer Duo. So it has a really nice compact side on one side, which I'm getting more into the dual-ended brushes because a lot of the time they're just more convenient. And this is really nice, kind of reminds me of an IT Cosmetics Cosmetics brush that I have and love. And then on the other side, you have a fluffier side. So I think you can use the more targeted side to get like right where you have deepness or darkness, and then flip it around and use this fluffy side to blend the edges. So it actually feels way nicer in person than I thought it was going to. So I'm excited to try this one, and I'm happy that I got it because I was feeling unsure just from my past experiences. And then I did get a restock on my K18 Heat Bounce Heat Protectant. I went through an entire bottle again, which is kind of surprising for me because I try so much new stuff, but this is a conditioning heat protectant. It protects up to 450 degrees, and I just love this for detangling, hydrating, and protecting my hair. I don't find that it weighs my hair down because I do have a fine hair texture. It works with my hair really, really nicely. So I wanted to restock on that. And then I did get 2 new products from Chris McMillan. So I love the glossy leave-in. It kind of reminds me of the Color Wow Dream Coat, but I wanted to try the Major Hairspray. This is supposed to be a volume adding hairspray that you can also use before hot tools to lock in the style, but I really wanted to try it because it says that you can brush through it, it's flexible, but it also does give you that volume. So if you've tried this, let me know. I am loving the Color Wow Big Hold Texas Hold'em. It's incredible, absolutely love that. But then I also did get the Dry Texture Spray. I just have seen so many good things about this brand. This is just supposed to give you that texture and grit without being like sticky or heavy. Again, I have a lot of hair, but it's very, very fine. And I want something that's going to give me some hold or texture without getting like sticky or goopy or weighing my hair down. And sometimes those products can make my hair like incredibly tangly and unmanageable. So I am excited to try this out because I've had good luck with his product so far. So I think that was everything that I have in hand, but I'm waiting on an order to come in, actually 2, and I wanted to just share with you what I got. So the first thing would be the Brown Girl Jane, that full-size fragrance. I cannot wait for that. And then I'm so excited. I ended up getting one of these Sarah Creole Coming in Hot Blurring Blushes. So I got the shade Satisfaction. What sold me is I saw a bunch of people raving about it, but then I was in the comments and somebody said that the formula reminded them of the Sochi blushes, which are literally ride or die for me. When I went to Mexico, I wore them every single day because they truly just blur the skin. They look sun-kissed, they're incredible. I need more shades from Sochi. If they're listening, probably not. I need more shades because they have a lot of like the similar tones. I need some more shades, but people were raving about this. And when I saw that comment, I was like, say less. So I did order one. It is pricey, but I'm excited to try it. And then I also did get the new Dior. It is fresh out today. Okay, I'm confused because I'm looking at my order. Wow, it says out of stock. I'm confused because it's the Forever Glow Luminizer Highlighter for holiday with like the ladybugs and the daisies all over it. I got my 20% off on it, so I'm confused. When I click on it, it says we do not currently carry this product, which is so annoying. I'm excited about it, but I don't know what's happening. So if I can link that at Sephora, I will. If not, I'll link it where you can get it. That may have been just like a glitch, but I did get the highlighter because I'm a huge fan of the Dior highlighters. I wish they did more that weren't limited though. It's just like, you know, craziness trying to get a hold of it. So that's frustrating, but I will update on that. And then I did also order one more of the ABH lip liners. I wanted to get this After Dust because I felt like it looked pretty unique. It kind of reminds me of like a lighter stone from MAC. It is a taupe brown with a violet undertone. I didn't know if it was going to be too light for my liking, but I think it would be really pretty to do like a grungy, lighter lip look. So that is what I have on the way, but I think that is everything for this haul. Sorry about all the random, like it's not available, it is, it's not. I will have all the links down below. Anything that's not available at Sephora, I will link it where you can get it. Sometimes I feel like these companies just want us to go like on a wild goose chase trying to find the products. And I'm like, I just want to like spend my money on your products. Why is it so difficult? I don't know if you guys feel that way, but it's just like, can you just launch the products and let me buy them? I don't know why I have to like hunt down different retailers every 2 days. So that is definitely frustrating, but I want to know what you guys want to see in trying new makeups first. Let me know what you're most excited for, because I'm going to try to do at least one in the remainder of the sale so that you can see these products in action. Also, let me know what you picked up, what has been your favorite thing so far, and if you did buy anything off my recommendation, I would love to know if you found any new favorites. It always makes me happy to get comments of, you know, I tried this product, I'm absolutely loving it because you told me you loved it. So any feedback down below, I would love to chat, but everything will be linked. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.